Well, we have a small problem with our bushes in the front yard. I have discovered mealybugs. So come along and come with me as I treat those plants and try to eradicate this problem. Hey guys, and welcome back to Horticulture Geek. Thank you so much for joining me today here in the garden. So like you just heard, I have a big problem with the bushes in the front of my home. They're holly bushes, just old style, standard holly bushes, nothing special. And I've got boxwoods up there as well. And the mealybugs have infested the hollies so bad that they have now spilled over into my boxwoods. And I'm also seeing some signs of them on my crepe myrtle trees. So I've got to treat those plants for mealybugs. But it is so hot here. Many of you are dealing with heat issues, just like I am here at the Horticulture Geek Garden. And a lot of you who follow my channel regularly know that I did not post a video last week. It's because it has just been so hot that it's been all I can do just to keep the garden alive. So I haven't really been working on any projects. I have not been planting anything. The name of the game has been water, 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 trying to keep things alive. And you can see it's looking fairly good. So there's definitely some issues back here, some projects to work on. And as soon as this heat breaks, I've got some weeding to do. I've started some perennial cutback. I need to cut back some more perennials. It's just a crazy time in the garden right now with this heat has just kind of put a stop to everything. Now I want you to notice it's evening. We're about to dusk. I'm sure you can hear the cicadas going nuts in the trees around me. When we treat for a bug problem, it is very, very important that whatever you're going to be putting on your plants to eradicate those pests, that you do that at a time when beneficial insects are not around. So typically, pesticide application, whether it's a synthetic pesticide or an organic pesticide, you'll have to make your own decisions and choices on that. But it should be applied at dusk, because at dusk, our butterflies have found a place to go. Bees have gone back to their colonies or to their nests. So our beneficials have pretty much gone away at dusk. And so that's just going to leave the problem pests that are attaching themselves to those plants. So that is very important. I know some people just spray straight up at night for their bugs, but what you don't want to do is spray pesticide on a plant during the day. One, like I just said, you're probably more than likely going to hurt beneficial insects more than you hurt the pests that are attacking your plants. And two, insecticidal products typically are oil-based. And if you go and spray your plant down with oil in the middle of the day, you're also going to take the risk of sun scorching or burning your plant. And like right now, as hot as it is all across most of the country, I mean, we've been in triple digits here in central Arkansas. If I were to spray an oil-based product onto a plant in the heat of the day, it's a killer. It will absolutely kill a plant. Especially a plant that's already weakened by a pest problem. So be very careful if you are going to put pesticides on your plants. So do it at nighttime. That's my recommendation. Do it at dusk. I am going to be going out front here in just a second and kind of show you the bushes, what mealybugs look like, and show you what I'm going to be using to treat this problem. Now, most of you who follow my channel again know I live on a busy street, so hopefully the traffic noise won't be too bad. So if you will just hang tight for a second, we'll be in the front yard and we'll get to work on this mealybug problem. Here we go. Okay, so here we are at a bush in front of the house, and I'm going to quickly turn the camera around and show you what the mealybug damage looks like. Okay, here we go. So what you're looking at here, if we get the camera to focus, is that white cottony residue all over the stems and leaves of this plant. So that is the classic telltale sign of the mealybug. They leave this mealy, cottony residue all over your plant. And then here's some more over here. So these bushes have mealybugs all over them. All right guys, Future Ray here. I'm jumping in right here into this part of the video because as I was editing, I realized that I lost some footage that I thought was recorded, did not make it. And one of the main parts of this video that didn't make it was me showing you the product I'm using. So here I am. So I am using Dr. Earth Final Stop as my organic insecticide for my bush project to kill the mealybugs. In addition to mealybugs, this also does aphids, mites, whiteflies, caterpillars, fleas, spiders, and more. And so this is a really good product to use. And it doesn't have to be Dr. Earth. There are many companies out there that make a good organic product. And if you choose to go the synthetic route, you can find that product as well. But this is what was handy for me at my store. So this is what I picked up. And the active ingredients in this, which I appreciate and like, are very simple. It's rosemary oil, sesame oil, peppermint oil, thyme oil, cinnamon oil, and garlic oil. So it's really combining natural products that will, and the oil is the key there, because that oil is what will get into onto the bodies of the bugs and kind of suffocate them and eradicate them. So it's kind of a fun, weird smell when you put this on your plants, but nothing harmful. So there you go. This is me jumping in to say this is the product that I'm using, and also some other footage got cut out of me spraying a different section of the yard, but that's okay. You'll get the point with what you can see. All right, now back to the video. All right guys, so that is it. It could not be any simpler than that. You just hook that product up to your water hose and give all your bushes a good drench. And I tried to kind of work that water in from all angles of the bush and shoot it up inside the bush to get inside. So you just want to kind of give your plant a very thorough coverage of that product. All right guys, hopefully you enjoyed seeing me put that pesticide product onto those bushes in the front yard. Again, that is an organic product that I chose to use. Whether you use organic or synthetic, that choice is up to you. I would encourage you to try to use organic if possible, if you can get it. It's just overall better typically for your environment and your surroundings. But the key to remember when putting any pesticide product out in your garden is to do it at dusk. Let your beneficial insects and your good pollinators get out of the way before you take them out with the bad. And also remember, if it is an oil-based product, which is probably pretty much going to be, do not put that on your plants in the daytime where the sun can sun scorch and burn your plants. Something else I wanted to point out about this video is that you probably noticed my bushes desperately need to be pruned out there. And that is because of this pest problem that I had. I already have, and believe it or not, those bushes were pruned in spring. So they were given the good spring haircut and shaped up and looked good, which is when the pest problem was found. And so I have not touched those bushes since. And there's a couple reasons for that. One, right now, like I said, it is super hot. Like most of the country and lots of places in the world, we are just dealing with extreme heat right now and drought conditions. We've had very little rain here, so it is not a good time to prune on bushes right now. Just not a good time to do it. The second thing is that I have bushes that are infested with a pest that is draining nutrients and energy and life from those plants. So the last thing I want to do is cut that bush or prune that bush and open up lots of cuts and lacerations all over that plant that would cause that plant to spiral down, and I would potentially lose that plant. So while my bushes desperately need to be pruned, they look pretty unkept. Unfortunately, there's nothing I can do about that at this point. My priority right now is to kill the infestation of the bugs that are infesting those plants. Then I'm gonna hopefully get some rain, get some cooler temperatures, and then I can get out there once the plants have healed and had time to pick back up. Then I can prune them and give them a good, strong chance of survival. So that's another thing to remember, is that if you encounter plants that have pest problems, be very careful on how you prune. Now, if the plant just has absolutely dead limbs, branches, or leaves, you absolutely can remove those. And in some cases, like a herbaceous perennial, if you find pests on a perennial, for example, like this sunflower, I'll just turn my camera right here, this sunflower right here. If I noticed that sunflower was absolutely eat up with a pest. This is not a herbaceous perennial, by the way. This is an annual, just a regular annual plant. I'm just gonna rip that plant out and throw it away and be done with it. So if you've got an annual, just rip it out, throw it away, be done with it. But on the other hand, my salvia right here, if I notice this is a herbaceous perennial, so it dies back every year and blooms out fresh every spring, right? So if I notice that plant is eat up with some sort of pest, I'm just gonna prune it down to the ground. It's gonna come back, it'll be fine. A little fertilizer or a little extra water, that plant will flush out. I still want to treat that area for the pest, because if the pest, the insect, whatever the insect may be, spider mites, whatever, if that pest is on that plant, then 9 times out of 10, you're guaranteed that pest is also gonna be in the soil, in the vicinity, on neighboring plants. So you still want to do a holistic approach here to treat your area in a good fashion, clean up any loose litter, debris, old dead leaves, anything that pests can get into and kind of hide from you. You want to make sure you clean your beds out. So that's the other thing. So the bushes I'm dealing with are not herbaceous perennials. Those are bushes, they stay. I don't want to prune on those. I don't want to trim them back to the ground, because that would be a big mess. It would take forever for that bush to grow back to that size. So I have to just unfortunately leave that bush alone until it's an appropriate time to prune it back. Herbaceous perennial, if I find it covered in bugs, it's getting a chop, cut it back, treat the area, get rid of the bugs that way. If I find the bugs on an annual plant, I'm just yanking that up, getting rid of it, and then treating the area. So those are some things that you need to remember if you come across pests in your garden. They're not necessarily hard to deal with, but they are, it is a process to deal with pests in your garden. And remember what I said at the beginning of this video, this is my second application of an organic spray on those bushes. So this is not necessarily a one and done thing, especially if you're dealing with thick, woody shrubbery like holly bushes or boxwoods. There are so many crevices and nooks and cracks and crannies, you know, and all that leaf canopy prevents really that pesticide from working its way 100% into the center of those plants. So you're gonna have to do multiple applications until you truly eradicate your problem. So you're just gonna have to keep an eye on it and be mindful of what's going on around you. Guys, I hope you have enjoyed this video. Keep your eye out for upcoming future projects. I'm not sure what we're gonna get up to next here. It's so dang hot. But we'll find something to do and hopefully have another video out very soon for you. If you have not, for some reason, subscribed to Horticulture Geek yet, I would love for you to do that and click that notification bell down below, and it will tell you whenever I post a new video. And you can come along for the journey and see what we're getting up to here in the garden. I think that's going to wrap it up for me today. If you have any questions or comments, leave those down below. And if you enjoyed this video, give me a thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. But until next time, guys, from my garden to yours, I wish you all the best and happy gardening.